You just get hat hair. What I'm asking for is almost free, so I'll still take a stab at it. Better pass these out first. You might have seen these.
Yeah, we have them.
Okay.
Thank you.
Something you write on the back of, put notes on.
Effort that counts. Just remember that.
Okay, I'll give it a good effort today. The highway department, Jim knows a little bit more about this than even I do, but the highway department 4 or 5 years ago, when there was an upgrade to phones, I think throughout the offices here in this building, we did not get that upgrade. One of the main things that's wrong out there is an example this last Saturday and Sunday. When we work overtime, I'll always go in, the guys are out, I'll go in and be there just to answer the phone. If the phone rings, it's going to ring out where Karen's at. It does not ring into my office, nor can I get that phone call. So usually, by the time I get up from there to go in there, I'll miss the call. So we just simply want, the phone to be able to ring into my phone also. If it rings in on line one should show up. You hit line one, you talk. I mean, that's just pretty basic. And to do that, we have to have the upgrade from where we're at now. And again, we didn't get that upgrade before. Also, on messages that are left, we have to go through 2 different sets of numbers to pull off messages. So most of the time, I don't even get my messages, and people call back. But you'd have to put in like 4 numbers, and then you got to put in 2 letters or something to even get your messages back from. Everything right now goes into the front phone, doesn't go into Tim's phone, doesn't go into my phone. It takes Karen to put numbers in to even get the phone call over to you to your office, and that's if she's in. So again, it's just the next upgrade that we didn't get when everybody else did.
So will this system communicate with the government center system?
Yes.
Okay.
Mike, have you got any transferable funds that you could pay for this without new appropriation, or? And I guess I'm thinking of like salt. You surely haven't used near the salt you would have normally used, would you, at this point?
No.
But is that already purchased?
Pardon me?
You probably already have that purchased though, don't you? That money's probably already spent for salt.
Well, salt's contracted. A lot of people don't know. Last year people said, boy, you saved a lot of money on salt. Well, we don't save anything because it's a contract amount and you have to pay that full amount. So what they did, even though we were, whatever it was, 400 or 500 tons that we would have saved, we still had to pay for that before the end of the year, and get that salt had to come back into our place by the end of the year. The good place where you can save money is if you know that you're doing that at the end of the year, then when you do your contract for the following year, you just order light. It's all a guess. I mean, we don't know how much more we're going to get between here and there. To answer your question, if we had to come up with money for that, yeah, we can. I mean, transfers happen all the time between now and the end of the year.
But I mean, if you did transfer out of something, would that make you run short? You probably don't know, do you, toward the end of the year?
No, and again, to answer your question, it probably, no, we wouldn't run short. We can usually make things work because we are transferring between a lot of different things, especially at the very end of the year, to come out right without having to come back in and ask for extra money.
I think you could take that out of current funds, and if you run short at the end of the year, come back and.
Yeah.
That makes sense to you.
It does to me.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you think you're going to run short.
We won't run short. This number won't make us run short.
Well, that's what I thought. It was kind of a small number that I thought maybe you could transfer within your department.
Yeah, we usually take everything like this we can get in the summer to do 1 more mile, and then when we say we're done, we're usually trying to figure out how we can put together $10,000 to do 1 more mile. But again, this isn't going to keep us from running short. We can do that if we have to.
Does this include, so this includes a phone in your office, Karen's office, Tim's office, and then the shop?
Yeah. Or it could be Butch, I don't know Butch's last name, Butch put this on.
Sterner.
Okay, and I think he was the one that was involved in doing this down here. It could be Kevin's phone over in the shop, or we do have a desk with a phone in Tim's office. The only time you'd probably use that would be during a blizzard time or something like that. But again, I usually come in, stay in the office, just to take phone calls.
For safety purposes, I'd like to see a phone remain in the mechanical area of the
Okay.
shop.
Yeah.
I make a motion we would approve this by transfer, and you can go ahead and do your thing now, and then
Mm-hmm.
come in for a transfer next meeting, and the money will be there to pay it then.
Okay.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, we got first and second, any further discussion? If not, all in favor, raise your right hand. All them opposed, the same.
Thank you.
Mike, before you
Yes.
leave, could you kind of give us a heads up on how the winter's going so far? If you had any trouble, or?
I would say it's been light. You know, no, we have not had any trouble. It becomes, Don brought up something yesterday. He had a Facebook thing where somebody wrote into him and said, why was the highway department out working on Sunday? There was no need for that. That's just money spent that didn't need to be spent. People need to learn to drive on 1 inch of snow. But if you remember 2 or 3 weeks before that, we had the same thing, 1 inch of snow, and then there was some wind that weekend also. Tim and I went out each day and spent 3 hours each day looking at the roads, which helps protect the county liability-wise, that we are out checking, and decided instead of bringing everybody in when the buses weren't running, to just bring a couple of guys in to take care of the worst hills, intersections, and curves, or the highest, you know, the ones with the highest speed. And then that turned out probably the wrong way. So it's such a guessing game. When you get 1 inch of snow, should people be able to drive on 1 inch of snow, or should we be out there? I will tell you, when we go out, if it's 1 inch of snow even, it's $10,000. It's 1 mile of chip and seal. And it directly relates. Everything we spend in the winter takes away from what we do in the summer. So that's always in the back of your mind, but you don't want an accident to happen trying to save money for another mile of road. And that's why we go out and spend so much time checking and trying to make calls from there that make sense. I think Don's reply was something like, darned if you do, darned if you don't. You know, and that's just where the highway gets sometimes. It's no matter what your choice is, somebody doesn't like it, or so many people do. At the same time yesterday in a commissioner meeting, one gentleman stood up and told the commissioners that he appreciated what we did do over the weekend, even though it was light snow. So again, you know, but no, it's been I would call it a light winter. We still have a few hundred tons of salt that it'll really make a difference the next 2 weeks. We could come out ahead by a few hundred tons that we don't have to buy, you know, because even ordering light for 13, or we might end up using, you know, all of that. It only takes one bad weekend to really screw up winter for a highway department. So you get 30-mile-an-hour winds and 3 inches of snow, and you're in trouble for a while.
Are you paying overtime at all, or are you doing comp time?
No comp time. We're paying.
Cash.
Yeah, we don't have any blizzards or anything going now, and I think that all started at that time when there were blizzards, and it was better for the county and for the employee if they wanted to do that, you know. But we're not going through that now, and we can pay our guys, and so they get paid cash. And then we're not keeping like a second accounting of who gets these hours and who gets those hours. And then they always, and I don't blame them, they take those hours in the summer when we're trying to keep people there to be sealing. And it's really hard between 4-H fair, vacations, and sealing to keep enough people there to keep things going. So, yeah, we pay.
No, I think that's good.
Well, it's never really a good time for them to be going.
Yeah, really, you know, winter or summer. But I think they've done a very good job with what they've done. I think it's been a light winter. I think we've had 2 light winters so far. Equipment, we're not having any problems there. We are getting ready to order a truck, and thank you, between the commissioners and yourselves for that. It'll take 100 days to get it here. but we will be adding another truck to the fleet, so.
What kind is that?
Well, we don't know
You
yet,
don't know yet?
yeah. There'll be at least 4 bidders,
So you haven't took the bid?
no, not yet. We're planning on, it'll take, for the advertisement stuff, it takes 2 weeks, about a week to get the specs done. So we're looking for all that to happen in the next 3 weeks, and then it's about 100 days before your truck arrives.
Okay. Anything else for Michael? Thank you.
Thank you, thanks.
Appreciate it. Okay, this time Nancy?